Hello everybody, I'm Teri Robinson, Executive Editor at SC Media, and today I have with me Kevin Bocek. He is the Vice President of Security Strategy and Threat Intelligence at Venafi. Hey Kevin, how are you doing?
Hey Teri, great to be here on day one of the RSA conference.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We're a little early today, but I want to talk to you about some research that you have on the dark web. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, so if you think about the world today, there are really two actors. There's people and machines, and people use usernames, passwords, biometrics. Machines use very different identities, things like TLS, keys, and certificates. And so we were wondering, what's now the prevalence and the availability of these machine identities on the dark web, on the darknet? What are cyber criminals looking for? What are they selling? And this is the first time investigation into that. We partnered with academic researchers at the University of Surrey from England and Georgia State University. And I think the finding really shows that the identity of machines, the importance of machines, much more important now than us boring humans, people.
Well, and that sort of mirrors what's going on the security side of things, though, too, right? Machines are becoming really important. We're hearing a lot about it. It's really been an uptick in the last couple of years.
Yes, it is. And if we think about what's changed in the last few years, especially now just in the last year, we look at applications like web browsers. They now require a machine identity, a TLS certificate, to be enabled on a website. To show is it trusted or not, good or bad. And if it's not there, if you've got a phishing scam, or even if you're selling something to the criminal underground, it's going to show as not trusted. In your browser, that green bar will not glow. And so that is incentivized criminals at all levels to say, hey, we've got now to make sure our machines, whether for phishing, whatever criminal enterprise, are trusted. And that, again, clears, we can see that right straight through this research, that big change in the criminal underground.
What are some of the other challenges in dealing with that then?
Well, the challenge has been actually that enterprises don't know what's out there that might be representing their name. They haven't been looking at these machine identities, viewing them as possible threats. That cyber criminal would be looking to acquire them maybe in similar names and similar variants, and to make their attacks look completely trusted. And I think there's a big surprise that we saw in the research.
Tell me about this surprise.
And that surprise is on the 5 Tor underground marketplaces that the researchers observed and watched for weeks. The prevalence of selling machine identities as part of attacks were 5 times more prevalent than ransomware, and many times more prevalent than things like zero-day attacks being sold. So that means the importance now on the criminal underground, so it's a supply and demand, of having machine identities for your attacks is much more important than, hey, can I sell you a ransomware kit or a malware kit? And that was really, really surprising.
It's amazing. So can you, before we wrap up here, can you tell me, what should organizations be doing then? I mean, how do you protect yourself?
Well, organizations have thought, hey, we're using things like TLS digital certificates for ourselves to enable privacy and trust. They haven't thought of it as a threat that, wow, what's going on out there in the cyber criminal underground where criminals are starting their attacks, they're acquiring things that they need to make their attacks successful. So they need to be aware, they need to be looking, they need to have the intelligence now of TLS digital certificates, machine identities that are being issued. You can do that now. We've got technology like certificate transparency. We've got systems that can find and score certificates and say, hey, this looks like you, just like we've been doing in other parts of threat intelligence, whether that's with malware, with keyloggers, with ransomware. Is it coming at you? You can be warned, you can be ready. So that's ready now, but the big change though is that threat intelligence teams, security teams now need to see digital certificates, machine identities as threats.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. I mean, that's fascinating, and I can't wait to read the whole report. Thank you all for joining us. It's Teri Robinson, Executive Editor at SC Media, and I'm here again with Kevin Bocek from Venafi.